Alright guys, welcome to Rick Renegade's Metal Collection. We're going to do a part 2 to this AI Gravedigger album cover thing. To start off, Gravedigger has been one of my top favorite bands. I used to be a huge Gravedigger fan, and then I think I've mentioned this before a few times, talking about Gravedigger, that Chris Boltondoll has not been the friendliest guy in the world, in my opinion. Like, I've met him a couple times. He just doesn't seem like he's very, very approachable, very friendly. So, it kind of doesn't make me feel too bad to rip on this album cover because, well, this one's dedicated to you, Chris. But so, I mean, I'm excited about a new Gravedigger album as always, but this is just not starting off very good. But let's talk about a few things that are said about my last video. So this guy, I don't know how to say his name. Well, actually, the first guy that commented that actually inspired this video, Kipelov CCCP, commented and said something about he argues that the album cover actually isn't good. Because I said it kind of looked like a typical Gravedigger cover, but he pointed out that there's a lot of errors and a lot of just flaws, like weird things, like just blending in together and all that. And I really didn't look into it too much, like, because I didn't want to give the album cover the time of day. I didn't really want to admire it, so I didn't really look at it. But after he said that, and I started looking, I started seeing a bunch of weird stuff. It's in there. It's not obvious if you glance at it, but if you blow it up and look at it, there's a lot of stupid things in this album cover. And now I agree, it is definitely not a good album cover. It could have been a good concept if it were redone by a real artist, but this is... AI still got some flaws, man. So, and also, another guy commented, a guy from France, I think. His name's... I don't know how to say his name. Feliz France 7006. Okay, he kind of called me out on not knowing 100% about how the AI works, and that's fair. I really don't know the ins and outs of it. So I guess the program, the software, whatever, doesn't completely come up with the stuff, by scratch. It's not completely just all scratch. It's actually other people's drawings and art, I guess, that it borrows from and blends them in together. I still don't know the ins and outs, because either way, I hate all of it. It's not good in either scenario. But so basically, I what I'm taking from is that it's taking other people's bits of art and smushing them together. To me, that's almost worse, because it's not a full concept that somebody came up with. It's just a bunch of blending and mushing. I don't like that at all. And he said that so it's technically, I called it soulless. He says it's technically not soulless because there is some real artwork from other people that's blended in there, but I don't know, man. I mean, if there's some soul, it's just a little bit, because it's not a full concept that a person came up with. It's just a bunch of, like I said, smushing things together, and so it's just like borrowing and stealing other people's art and smush. I don't know, man. Just draw something from scratch. Just draw something. That way, it's completely original, and you don't have to worry about none of this. But anyway, let's actually get down to the art, the things that we have seen. Now, I looked and seen a few things, like a handful of things, but I found some other guy on Google Images, and it turns out it was a picture from Reddit. Some guy user on there named Playing Nightcrawlers or whatever. He actually found a bunch of flaws. So this isn't my findings. I found some of these on my own, but some of these I didn't even notice. So this is not my work here. I am just going to do a reaction to them and talk about what he found. Some of them I don't think are that bad, but some of them are quite bad. Okay, so the first thing is the shins on the guy in the middle. One is bigger than the other. And at first glance, you probably just think, well, maybe one's sticking out further than the other, so it looks bigger. But if you really look at the proportions, it doesn't look. It really isn't that accurate. So one is definitely bigger than the other and shouldn't be, in my opinion. So that one I agree with. If you look on the left side of the picture by a skeleton by a tombstone, there's just a bone that's just stretched across the tombstone or whatever for no reason. It's not connected to anything that you can tell. It's just there. And yeah, he just put what bone? Good question. I don't know either. That one I actually noticed on my own. Skeleton or bird? Okay, when I first seen this, I just figured it was like some sort of like skeleton angel or something. So it didn't really strike me. I thought it was kind of cool. It didn't really strike me as off or weird. But and you look at all the other skeletons, it's really the only one there that's like that. So it's not really consistent with the rest of it or the theme necessarily. So I don't know if it just tried to smush a bird and a skeleton together, but either way, I thought the idea could have been cool, but I don't know if it was intentional or not. I don't know. So that one I'm kind of 50-50 on. Tree or bird? This one I did not see on my own. If you look on the left upper part of the album cover, there's just a branch that kind of looks like it's morphing into a bird. Like that one's pretty bad if you really look at it. I didn't notice it right off, but yeah, it's definitely like a bird branch. I definitely didn't look like it was intended to be that way. So that one's bad. Branch feet. This was the first one I noticed on my own. If you look right above the bird branch thing, there's branches that go right into the bird's talons. Like they're not even separated. They're just connected. That is stupid. Gravedigger should have noticed that one right offhand and redone that. But anyway, next, wing branch. So yeah, this wing branch. I've noticed like little things throughout the whole cover that looks like this, and you're kind of thinking, is that part of a bird or a branch, or like what is it? Like you'll just have random things sticking out of nowhere that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, that one I did notice on my own. This one is talking about the birds, right? Like by the moon in the background. Personally, I don't think this is that big of a deal, but I guess if you think about it as like distance, like how far are these birds? They look like they're kind of far back, but at the same time they look kind of big in the grand scheme of the picture. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. They might be too big for the picture, but at the same time, I don't think this one's a huge deal, but it's slightly weird, yeah. Um, yeah, let's just talk about like some of these lines that just appear out of nowhere. Like there are just like this kind of talking about like the wing branch thing. You know, it's just you just got these lines randomly scattered throughout the thing that it's like, what does that belong to? I don't know. They're just there. So yeah, so just another case of that. The hand melting into the stick that the Reaper guy's holding. This one isn't a huge deal either. You really have to look at it closely, but yeah, the edge of the stick and the edge of the hand kind of are one line, like it kind of goes together like they're one. Not a big deal, but you know, it's a discrepancy for sure. The next thing is there's a bat by a tower on the castle in the background. And not only, I did notice this one too. Not only is the bat kind of odd looking, but how big is this bat, dude? It looks like it could take the tower and just snap it in two. Like what? Like I don't even understand the proportions of this bat. I mean, it's just like the world's largest freaking bat. I don't know. That one was pretty dumb. The talons on this bird. I don't think this one's a huge deal either. If you look at it closely, it could look a little funky, but I wouldn't say it's totally totally bizarre. But yeah, I see what he's saying. It's not the greatest. A human could have done a better job. The bird's tail melting. That's stupid. I think I did notice that one on my own too. Um, it's just the bird's tail is just looks like it's melting in thin air as it's flying off the ground or whatever. That birds don't do that. So that was stupid. And that arm though, I noticed that too. Like I don't think there's really anything necessarily completely wrong with the arm. It's just that it is kind of awkward. Like it just looks like it's like like standing. I don't know. It just looks kind of dumb. But is it wrong? I don't know. It just looks dumb. So um, sick hands. That one I did notice too, and I didn't really know what was supposed to be going on with those hands actually. So I don't know if it's wrong or what. It's just weird. Doesn't make any sense. Is it the skeleton holding his hands together in a weird way, or is it two hands? I don't know. I don't really understand. It just looks like something a human wouldn't have come up with because it just wouldn't have made any sense. It looks just kind of like a random idea. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on there that was clearly bad. A few things that are questionable, I think could have been passable, but a human probably would have done better. There's some really good artists out there, man. And when you're a band like Gravedigger, you got money. I don't understand why I mean, they've been able to afford album covers all this time, and they can't now. They got to go do AI. Come on, man. And we're talking like Gravedigger has had some really cool album covers too, like some really good ones. Just a few albums back, I remember when they did Return of the Reaper. That was one of the best album covers they ever had. And as a matter of fact, the production of that album was good. Everything was just like really, really good quality, good music. And then they kind of started to fall into a slump again, and their production qualities are starting to go down again. And now they're doing AI artwork, and it's just, man, I don't know, man. I mean, I'll buy the album. I've got every Gravedigger album on CD and a couple on vinyl, not very many, but I'll buy it. But I don't like where this is going. Mr. Boltondoll, fix this. Don't just ditch this album cover, make a new one. We're all laughing at it, man. So, but anyway, I kind of thought this was some fun. If you like this video, like, subscribe. Maybe we'll find some more AI artwork that we can make fun of. This is kind of this definitely made me laugh. But anyway, till next time, stay metal.